how to apply the tax declaration in Luxembourg based on the template 100F. Let's face it.
Hi everyone, this is Marco Gilardi. Welcome again in my channel. Today I'm going to share with you one example of how to do the tax declaration in Luxembourg. So let's check the scenario which I created. So what about the simulation I have done? There is a couple under 40 years old, dependent and resident in Luxembourg, so they are working, they are living here, with no children, which last year, in 2019, they start a mortgage plus another credit related to the same property, without, is important, without credit insurance, okay? They have one home saving plan, are paying the car interest, because they have also a car, they are paying every month the expenses for the car credit, and they have the car, home and secondary health insurance. After that, they also have one subscription to the trade union, the one here we call patronat, the one that is covering you, that is helping you in the case the company will fire you, okay? For no reason or for any other reason that you don't accept. So they are helping you. See, this is the trade union, they have also it. So I take this simulation and I put into a file, which I will explain to you right now. This file is formed by 4 columns. The first column we have the fields of the file of the template 100F. Is the one you need to download and save in your computer and start to work on it, to start to fill. Then the second and the third column we have detail about the couple. After that, so we will have in the second, third column which certificate, which data, which value, okay, that you need to use after. In the last column, the fourth one, we have the line of your yearly salary certificate you have to receive. This is normally you receive at the end of January of this year, concerning all your salary on 2019, okay? So this file also you need it. So in this simulation, into this file, what you can see quickly, you can see the field you should fill concerning the template 100F, and in line there will be all value you should take, you should have, and on the right you will have the line of the yearly salary certificate you receive from your company, and therefore you will have the link which line, which value into which field in the template 100F, okay? So it will be easier for you. So now what is important here is summarizing. Normally you should apply for it before the end of March of this year, right? For the declaration, for the tax declaration. This year, because of the coronavirus, the issue, the government decided to postpone the expired date, let's say, until 30 end of June of 2020 of this year, okay? So what you should do now is go to the website which I put in the description and download the file 100F if this is your scenario. So first check and be sure that this is your scenario. After that you have to adapt the field with your real data, okay? So I'm going to explain this example. You should just change the data and fill in afterwards, okay? So as we are on 2020, we need to download the file, the template 100F of 2019, okay? So now it's time to start. I wrote here a list of file of certificate you need to have in order for you to complete, to change the value of my simulation with your real example, okay? And after that it will be helpful for you. So file number 1, you receive from the government one file which is asking you to apply for the tax declaration, right? In this case you have a field which is mentioned which office you should apply your tax declaration, your file, okay? your template 100F, if this is your case. So that's the first certificate to identify which office you should apply. Second file, you should download, as we said, the template file 100F of 2019 and save in your PC. I have here under all this list of files, okay, which you need. Summarize the last year income, the certification provided by your company, the certificate de salarié. Then you have the certificate of home saving plan concerning all the 2019, which you receive at the end of the year or you receive in January normally, which include the total yearly how much you pay. In this case, we have simulated 224 multiplied per 12 months plus the interest, okay, that you will receive if in your contract there is certain interest to get every year. Then you have the certificate of the cost of the notary act concerning the credit, okay, overture the credit. This one you should keep. Then you have the cost of the initialization of your file for your mortgage. In Luxembourg, sometimes it starts from 2,000, then 1,500, 1,500, and there is also who has apply just paying 250 euro if we have some subscription, or if we have some good relation, or if we manage to decrease with a negotiation. Then you have yes, you have the bank concerning the certificate from the bank concerning one mortgage. So if you have one credit, you will have the yearly sum of the interest, which this is another certificate. You may have the second credit on the same property for any reason, okay, and this is another certificate which you should keep. Then you have the certificate of the insurance concerning what is possible to declare. In this case, if you have one insurance on the credit that you request, is not our example, so ask to your commercialist, to your accountant, how to fill well in your 100F template. After that, you have a certificate for the trade union, okay, and normally are around 6 euro what you can declare about that. Then you have the resident paper, especially if you change it during 2019. It was not the case in our simulation at this point. So if you change this, if you change your residence during the 2019, is not our case, okay? But maybe you can ask some question in the comment, I will answer you how to do it. The tax anticipation, yes, of course, you should consider also that probably last year the government already asked you to anticipate some tax, okay? So keep in mind this when you will receive the calculation of the answer of the government about what it was your application, okay? Remember this point. Then you have two files which I put in the description. I leave in the description how to get it, which is the tax barometer and the government file for the travel expenses, which is called FD, okay? So just let's start to review first the file, the simulation, and after we will start with to complete the template F100. Take your time because it will be needed that you understand each point. Stop the video when you need and go further when you understand the point. Okay, so now we are going to simulate our the data that we are going to fill in the model F100, okay? So about our declaration d'impôt, about our tax declaration in Luxembourg. So here we have the husband detail and we have the wife detail, okay? As you remember, we are simulating here one couple resident in Luxembourg, okay? So here we have the first part, the orange one here, is the part related to the certificate that the employee get yearly from the company, okay? And as well here, this is related to the wife, this is related to the husband. Okay, and in each line of this certificate, you are going to review this field, okay, which you need to copy and fill in this part, which is the F100. This is our model, okay, is the field in our model, okay, and here this is the line where you're going to get this information. About this is other certificate I'm going to show now. So here, the orange one, as well here for the wife, you receive this certificate at the end of the year, or better, in January normally, at the end of January of the next year, 2020 in this case, and you are going to extract all this data from this line if are the last model aligned with this my field. Otherwise you should check this, what is written here, and you have to link on it, okay, 80,000, 8,000, 300, 120. This is our example that I use for simulate today the data, okay, and with this data you are going to fill the field inside of the model F100. Okay, that's all. In this case, you should remember that you should fill, we will see later once we complete, the line 18 and 19 you should sum, okay, and put together in the field 730. After that, we have the married since, yes, the date since you married, okay. So this is important, that date that we have to remember to fill our F100. Here is supposed to be the same, so of course I put the same. Then we have the notary credit cost, so just the one for the credit, okay, related to the bank, and the certificate. This is a certificate, you receive an invoice for that, and the flat bank fee. This is normally you should ask to the bank, is the initialization phase of the to open your file for the credit, okay. Normally Luxembourg starts from 2,000, 1,500, 1,000, even less, 500, 250. It depends how much you are able to negotiate it. Then we have the first credit related to the house or the apartment you bought, and we have value here, and we have, for instance, a second credit. Maybe, I don't know, you just use some credit always for the house, but to make something else, for instance, and we have 1,500. Then we have the credit for the car, okay, and this is the interest that yearly. This is all certificate you are receiving yearly from the bank or the financial institute, okay. Then we have insurance, the RC auto. We have the insurance for death, normally related to the auto, to the car. We have insurance for the house, and we have the trade union, which is that also one part is covered, normally €6 for the one of the most important trade union we have here in Luxembourg. And you receive also certificate for all these things, or all this one. Okay, and then we have the home saving plan, which here I simulate for a couple without children, 224 multiply 12 months plus interest. Okay, if these interests are included in the contract with the home saving plan, the company you decide to go further for this contract, okay. And let's say that it will be 2,800 included the interest, okay. And this part we are going to feed in the F100, the field 1530, okay. Then we have the CNS. CNS, how we are going to calculate, we are going to check later. Basically, there is the total expenses, okay, and you get a reimbursement from CNS. And if you have a second insurance, you get also a second reimburse of what CNS didn't pay you, right? So based on this is the value that should exit, okay, that you should add after, you should keep into consideration. And we are going to see the field, which is the 1702, okay? And this is have to be fed from every person, from the husband and the wife, you see here. Now, the only difference that we can have, you see here is I put as a 000 for the wife. Why? Because normally when you're going to buy the house together, you are not going to share the interest. It's just one mortgage, you know, it's just one credit, it's one certificate you receive. So or you feed here or you feed here is the same. Just I put here as a first point, as the first point we put the husband, but it will be the same also the wife, and there is no any other things. Then here we have the other difference is, of course, both they are resident in, we simulate one address that I don't think exists in Luxembourg. I hope it doesn't exist in Luxembourg. One Rue de Luc, 1, 2, 3, 4 Die Kirche, okay? And these, they are living together here, but the only difference is that the husband is working in Strassen, so have one FD value, which is 29, following one document I'm going to share later, and we have the wife, which live, of course, in the same residence of the husband, the same what we discussed before, but works in Wils, which probably the distance between Die Kirche and Strassen is longer than the distance between Die Kirche and Wils. That's why FD is 20, okay? This is considered as segment, our max 30 segment, and on this segment you should cut 4 segment. You see here the example, and then multiply for 99, and you have this result, which is normally the one that is mentioned in the line 11 of your yearly certificate of employee. I mean the one that you receive at the end of January, as we said before. And you have to put this value, you have to feed in link F100 748 for the wife and 747 for the husband. Okay, it's clear? You see the same field, because certificate has normally the same format, but of course in the F100 there is one for the husband and one for the wife. So let's start. You can take a screenshot of it. I try to add after in our in the video, under the video, in order for you to review, and you can just control if in your side you just have to change the data you have here, which we use as example, with your real data. I'm going to fill your F100 model. Okay, let's start. Okay, here we are in the file, in the document model 100F. Here, you can see, you have to select the Die Kirche, as we said from example, which is the letter which you receive from the government to make your taxation, which is written this. Okay, so you select this. Then you put as username, surname, as you can see, Maria, and here your normally CNS number. Here just one example, is not concerning realistic data that I have just to simulate for you. You are going to complete like this with your data. This first part you are aware of. So where you live, the city, if you was born in Italy, your wife Luxembourg, and then we have the number of dossier. Normally these arrive with the letter. Here we are going to put 00, but we normally arrive with the letter. This is your job, your role. The number you can put the same. Who is doing this file can have, in the case they can call you, they have a contact just for this. And here the same, the email. I hope it doesn't exist, this email. Just a simulation. Yes, as you can see, is just one email that I found to simulate one contact, which can be the same also here as well for the telephone. There is no it's not so important. I mean, maybe if the government will try to contact you to have some clarification, you made some mistake, they can find here this. This address, as I said before, is just data. As example, I didn't. I believe that it is not real data which we are using. This is the first page. Basically, it's very simple. You should be able to see from your document all this stuff. Here is one part is important, which we see after the country we select. This is the part in the case in last year, during the whole 2019, you change your residence, then you have to fill this field, okay? You see? This is just in case. So here we are going to put your bank account with you and your wife. So your code here is just one example as just 0. Big Lux also, I don't think exists somewhere. Here we said that there is no children, there is no child in this family, just a couple married. And here we are going to feed with married. Since when? We simulate in our data the 1st January 2010, just a simulation. So this is a sort of the proof of your second class, okay? So we go further. All this part. It's good if you read all this document, and if you have some question, you ask to your to commercialist or to your accountant, okay? To have some clarification about some field, maybe is the case for you. Each case is really specific, so it's good to have a first check with one expert for sure. Okay, this is your salary for your business. As I said, in the field we are going to feed how much you are taking yearly. You find this in the global, in the yearly certificate you receive at the end of January. Of course, don't check how much is your income brut with the taxation that I put is just one, really one example. So there is no link between first class, second class. It's just one example. Here, look, the minimum is 540. You have to put this data, okay? 440 minimum. If there is no, is a minimal data if you don't have invalidity or something else, okay? You should put anyway. This is the FD value, okay, which I show in the file. I will show in the file. I will show in the file. You see? I will show how to calculate. This is automatic. So that's why my suggestion is to take this file, save in your computer and start to fill and save after, okay, before print. Okay, we go further. Study, review each field if it's your first time especially. So this is the cost which we say are related to the notary credit cost and the flat bank fee. Okay, so here you should put minus, I remember that point. Minus and the minus 2000 and minus 2000, which is the maximum interest you can declare for both of you. Here the bank name, the reason is you bought one maison, you bought one house. Here is you have to read in the contract, this is what you receive yearly at the end of the year, is written this value. Here we put one example as usual, let's say 800,000. And here maybe you have another mortgage for the house, okay, which is for instance 300,000, and this is the total interest. So you receive two certificates, and here there is the interest you pay. So here you should, if you have one house, okay, one apartment or one house, you see here is written that 2000 max since this date, so for each person, okay. That's why we put here minus, we will put 2000 here also. Interest debitor, or yes, this one, this field under. Okay, here is the address from the where you bought the apartment or the house. So it's basically where you are living actually. If there is a second house, a second apartment, you're going to feed the habitation B, this on the right. Okay. You should also feed since when, okay? So you have to remember what we put at the beginning, okay? Otherwise you have to, if it's different, if you change, if it was, I don't know, just July, then you have to feed the other part, because since January and June, what you did, where you were, okay? So check always here, has to be aligned there, okay? So since the 1st January you're here, otherwise you're going to change. You're going to add your old residence, okay? So, and here have to be aligned. Here you're going to put this data. Which is 2000. Okay, we're going further here. I remember you to study each field and to review with your commercialist, with your accountant, this part, because it's always better, especially if it's the first time you're going to Checkins. So here is the car, for the car, so the credit for the car, for instance. So the bank which give you the credit, or the financial institute. This is the reason, so auto or car. In this certificate which you receive at the end of the year or in January, you can read what is written here about this field. And of course, add on the right the interest you pay during all the year for the car. Here there is insurance, debt, for the house, for the car, everything you are going to put here in this field. As usual, you are going to feed with the insurance company name. Then, yes, there is for the car, for the house, trade union, there is a part for that also sometimes. So here we have RC auto, the car, the debt also for the car, the part related to the debt. And you have all this certificate, and you are going just to feed, just to fill this each field, as you can see from the video. Automatically you have the total. However, read attentive all the field, okay? You have to add all what is written here, you see? Study all point, read what is written. written 672, but it can be higher if you are married. So that's the value. Duplicate. And you cannot declare in this part, in this sector, let's say, of the file, of the model, more than 1344. In our case, in our scenario. Read here what is written in the info, you see? You should take the total, which is not written automatically from the system, but taking into consideration the case 1470, which is the max you can declare. See, read everything. We just make the example simply for the husband, but it can be both, it can be just the wife, okay? And you are going to put the sum between the field 1468 and 1469. In this case, on the right, the wife, we don't have anything, and insurance, because it's all under the name of the husband, so that's why. Here we are going to put the home saving plan, okay, which I strongly suggest to do it out of your monthly rate, okay? So here you have to put your CNS. Normally they register you under the CNS name, a CNS number. So you're going to be identified this way. When start the contract, so when start, you read in the contract, all is written about that. Voila, this is one example. Of course, we thought that it will be before than 2019, the years we are going to declare. And here, the total, you remember, 224 euro multiplied 12 months plus interest, okay? But however, we can declare under 40 years old, both, we can declare 1344. If we are married, we can duplicate this. It will be 2688, the max we can declare. And read always info, read each field to really understand. Automatically is filled, so this is written in your yearly certificate from your company. Normally in the line 10, and here we have all now the expenses for the health. So here is good if you explain. You have many lines. If you explain a summarize of the calculation. So the husband, which to field, you see the explanation of the field 1702. To be precise, you will help the government to understand which is your calculation done here. So you basically what you have to do, you have to check all expenses you have done. With this expense, what you have done, basically you provide all your file to the CNS, which reimburses you or not based on what you provide, okay? Based on this, you have some things, a sort of reimbursement about this, which is sometimes partial, okay? Most of the time is partial, is not fully, okay? Therefore, we have sometimes some of us has some secondary insurance to cover what CNS didn't pay, okay? So in this case, you are going to take the total expenses minus CNS minus what the secondary insurance didn't pay you, and if still advance some things, you can fit in the husband part as well in the wife side 1703. Of course, you can do all of this even in the first field, but like this is more precise. I prefer to do clearly like this, as we have a field for man and for the husband and for the wife, so more precise. Here is another value that you are going to take from the line number 27, if I'm not wrong, the line number 27 of your salary, the yearly salary you receive from the company. Here you have the total, okay? Yes, this is not the part, just if you want to read, if you are curious, you can study some things. This is the check, the final check. Here you are going to put to sign where, or the sign here. Normally when you take this file, you print this file, is free the field here under to sign. Here the date, you just put D and appear the date. You can sign below, no really here, because here you should put the location, so die Kirche, and below you can put a sign. That's all. Then you show to your accountant, to your expert, and like this way, if you confirm all is okay, you work less, you save money, and you can do your application to the government. Okay? That's the final step. You save the file in your computer and you print. That's all.
So now let's check the file, the tax barometer, how it works.
So we have seen at the end of our file F100 of the declaration of today, we have seen a value of 125,000, okay? So now to compare, more or less, if I understood correctly, we should check in this file, which is in the website of the government, and let's see if, for instance, here is good to read everything. How you can see, it's really nice to read, to understand exactly how it works, the calculation. Here you have for here you have the physical person, which salary, and here, for instance, let's do one example. Now, in our case, we are over 125,000. Is not included here, so there is a range of calculation, which is this one. Okay, you have to calculate like this part. If you are in class 2, like this. So, if, for instance, you have, I don't know, your salary, the value, it was not 124, but it was 100,000, for instance, you just have to go here, you see, and check the tax you should pay for that. In the case of second class, you see, first A and second, in the case of second class, you should pay a taxation of 18,213. That's how to calculate if it's correct or not, okay? Then anyway, ask to your commercialist, to your accountant, to your expert, if your file is well done or not.
Now let's check how to calculate the FD, which are the travel expenses, because you know, much you are far, your residence is far from your working place, okay? You are going to get a sort of reimbursement about that, okay? So this is important to feel, it's important that it is exact. So I want to explain you through this file how to calculate it, okay? So here we have the file FD. I mean, this is the expenses which are for the travel. Okay, so here you are going to see where you live to calculate and get this value, okay, between where you live and where you work. So we said that we live in Checkins, so we are going to search Checkins. In the list. If you search your in the blue, if you search your place of work, okay, should be the same, the value, because of course go and turn back, it will be the same calculation. So but search here in the blue the resident where you are living, Checkins, you see. Then we said that the husband was working in Strassen, right? Strassen, which is 29. If you remember, previously we have done 29 minus 4, okay? Which means we have to put 2475, okay? 2475, because it will be 29 minus 4. I will explain after why minus 4. And therefore it will be 25 multiplied for 99 euro. Okay? This is the reimbursement. So this is 25 because you have to do minus 4. I will explain where it's written that. Then we have the wife was working in Wales. So we have here 20. This means 16, okay? So for the wife, we have done 20 minus 4 equals 16, multiply 99 euro, which means 1584 euro, okay? So that's the calculation how it works. You live here, you work there, you get this data, minus 4, multiply 99, and this, the result of this all this money reimbursement will be, the reimbursement will be written in the file, the yearly certificate you receive from your company at the end of January of the new year. So that was the tax declaration in Luxembourg following my scenario, my simulation. But remember that even if you apply with your tax expert, you remain the only one responsible for the application. Okay, this is very important. So the best way, what I can suggest you is following your specific scenario, to study your case, to watch my video, even to review again at the end before apply it, to review with your tax expert once more and ask the necessary question following your specific case, okay? Maybe there will be some change. So it's always better to review to have a full picture about your specific scenario. Of course, like this way you probably spend less money with a tax expert. Why? Because you already provide the file. There may be only just needed some mistake to be corrected, okay? So just some review, but it will be a really good point. You understand what are you doing, you study what are you doing. If you really don't understand nothing about that, just provide all to your tax expert, but it's not what I suggest. What I suggest is to study, to understand, to watch my video, to watch any video, any people that can help you, and at the end also review it with your tax expert, because unfortunately you remain the only one responsible for your application. Anyway, even if this video is completely wrong, even if the tax expert that you are going to pay is doing a lot of mistake on your file, you remain the only one responsible for that. So be aware about this, and if you have to do some mistake, at least study, invest your time on studying this, okay? So that's the best suggestion which I can give you. So I wish you a wonderful week. full of opportunities, full of positivity, and we stay in touch. If you have some remark, if you have some question, just comment below. Finally, what to say? Thanks to you, thanks to Luxembourg, and I dedicate this video this time for all people which is involved in Luxembourg country, and especially to my Facebook group, which is a group of Italians and friends in Luxembourg, which is called Italiani e Amici del Granducato di Lussemburgo. I attach the link below. If you want, you can be part of us. Hey, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe and click on the small bell, like this automatically next time you receive my video. But you know why I want you to subscribe? Because I'm succeeding every day and I want for you the same.